instead of covering the Palestinian protesters, which like I was very familiar with their language and what they were saying and what they were arguing, free Palestine and the occupation. And then I thought it would be more interesting instead to speak to the other side. And I interviewed them and allowed them to be extremely candid with me. And I interviewed many of them that they called for genocide, they called for a second Nakba. You'll see it right here.
Fuck Palestine! Palestine to my dick!
What do you think the response should be from Netanyahu and the military to Gaza?
Kill all Palestinians! All of them! Not one left from the river to the sea, Palestine will be deceased!
And Israel need to do like this. You see? Now Gaza. Like this. Gaza need to do like this. Or like this, but all this Jewish. Two options.
What do you think the response should be to Gaza?
We gotta wipe them off the fucking map. I'm talking about every fucking flatten them like a parking lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, flatten them out once and for
There's
all. Get rid of that.
nothing else you can do.
Well, when I interviewed those people, I had never been to Israel before. I interviewed them, and it was the first time I heard anyone be so candidly racist and genocidal. And I didn't know, truly, I didn't know the face of like fanatical Zionism. Like I didn't know that, you know, people spoke like that. So I was surprised, and I was surprised that it wasn't just one person said something crazy. It was a group of 100 people all saying the same thing, all saying things like that. And obviously, you know, this is everyone. When I went to Israel, you know, a few weeks after that, you know, everyone has war fever. There's flags everywhere that weren't there a few weeks before. Together we will win signs, bring them home signs. You know, it's like, you know, post 9/11 almost. Like it's very like the war propaganda is everywhere. But the day I got to Israel, we had it was October 1st, and that was the day of the Iranian ballistic missile retaliatory attack. And I spoke to, you know, my editor and friend Max Blumenthal. He said, you know, you are there. Maybe you should file a report about this missile strike. I thought, you know, I don't really know what to say about it. Everyone's talking about it. How about if I just try to find where the missiles landed? Maybe like that's just that could be the report. I do that. I go to the Nevatim Air Base in the south. I don't really see much. I go to the Mossad headquarters around there. There's a filled-in crater. I document it. I look at the news, and because I'm, you know, only one person, I'm not a news crew. You know, my turnaround was a few days. So my report came out after, you know, the mainstream media, PBS NewsHour, Ynet, you know, mainstream Israeli media and American media situated inside of Israel published very similar information that I did. And only I was, you know, acted on and arrested. And they pulled out maybe 20 or 30 feet of blindfold cloth, and they wrapped it tightly around my head, you know, maybe 10 or 15 times around my ears, my eyes, and part of my nose. They shackled my legs, and they zip tied my hands. And then I was put in a military Humvee and kind of arbitrarily driven around. And then it stopped. I was then transferred into a police car, or what seemed to be a police car. I was blindfolded still. And then the police car drove about an hour south towards Jerusalem. It took me to the biggest police headquarters in the West Bank, and I was put in a holding cell.